Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Julian Lopetegui has just finished his press conference ahead of the Arsenal game, although a bit delayed as per usual. So let's crack into it and talk about what was said. Team news, that's the important one. That's all we're really concerned about, to be honest. Now, he basically said the news is that we've had 2 or 3 little problems. It was 1 or 2 last week. It's 2 or 3, which we need to assess tomorrow. We have to wait to find out if we know they're available and positive they can all be ready. So he was asked whether he bit more, who are these people, but he wouldn't say. Imagine one of them would be Jean-Claire, who obviously went off with stomach issues. Sort of midway through the second half of the Newcastle game. We did know that Bowen and Paqueta were minor doubts for the Newcastle game, so maybe just looking at that, maybe even Nicholas Fulkrug, who we'll talk about a little bit later in Hammond's headlines, but wouldn't go into any sort of real. He said, no, I won't say who are because I think they're going to be okay. So why say it? I don't get it. Asked about the fact that one person who won't be is him. He's not going to be a touchline ban. 3 yellow cards amassed, so he misses the game in terms of not being at the touchline. The most important thing is the players and getting them ready to be able to compete against one of the best teams in the world, as Jeremy Clarkson would say. I'm not going to go down there. We can't. And I'm going to have to improve my conduct. I've done 3 yellow cards, but that is done. I am passionate, and sometimes I have said things, but always I try to respect for the officials. I try to have respect for the officials. He also said that he did use to gesticulate with his hands, so sometimes maybe the officials have misconstrued some of that. No, it's Spanish for yes. But it's obviously will not be. But I remember the last time we didn't have a manager or our head coach was when Moyes had COVID, wasn't it? If I remember correctly, and old Irving, he was there, wasn't he? And I didn't even realise he was there. I didn't realise Moyes had COVID. He looked quite similar from behind. So yeah, he won't be obviously on the touchline, but obviously still be involved in like pre-match and stuff like that. But just the actual touchline, I'm sure he'll be sitting up in the press where the rest of his team sit, and will be doing the old walkie-talkie down, not the bean cans. No, West Ham quite possibly 2 bean cans, a long bit of string going from the top all the way down. But he'll be there, barking orders to his number twos. To his number twos, to the number twos that not his shits. You know what I mean? Asked about the Newcastle game, we did well, but that is in the past. Now we look to Arsenal. We are looking to keep the good things, but always there are things to improve. We have to be ready for a big challenge against a top team with a good coach and players. I imagine that means good coach because obviously every team has players. Asked about pressure, obviously, going to the Newcastle game and still the Arsenal game. There's still question marks over here, in terms of how long he'll be West Ham head coach for. And he goes, I always put my focus on the daily work and trying to help my players become a better team. I feel well and always focused on the team and improving. I think I might have missed a focus out, maybe. We'll come back to the focus monitor at the end. Now, I think it was Darmesh was asking the questions for Sky Sports. We're now closer to obviously a European place than we are to relegation place. I think we're sort of 4 points off top 6, something like that. And asked about Europe. Is Europe what his ambitions? And obviously we know it is an ambition if he wants to have a third year in the job, because obviously the way his contract is, if you get into Europe the first 2 years, you get an automatic third year extension. But he said, we don't think about where we are. We think about where we can be in the next 4 months. Not now, but then. The end of the season is when we talk about whether we did well or not. Let's see. We have to be ready to be better in every match and to improve. Isn't that already being better in every match? So okay. Let that one go, Russ. Let that one go. Has to be better, but you have to improve as well. Same thing. Asked about how the squad's feeling. Obviously the back of Newcastle game is the renewed maybe sense of a little bit of optimism by some West Ham fans. I'll say it very quietly. But obviously the team seems to be playing a lot better, seems to gel. That Newcastle game is a a deserved win, which is probably our first deserved win of this season. He says, always it's important to win matches, but I repeat, it's the past, and we have to focus on the next challenge. Always we want to play like that, but we have to use it. Always we want to play like that, but have to use it. Don't know. But each match is a different challenge. He likes the word challenge as well. But we have to be ready. Very good. What else we got? We'll talk about Arsenal in a minute. Asked about the West Ham fans. What can the West Ham fans bring to the table on Saturday? And he said, we are sure, almost for sure, but we are sure our fans are going to help us. As always, this extra step is what we need. And for sure, they're going to help us on Saturday. Asked about Mikel Arteta, obviously fellow Spanish manager. He was always a big player in England above all. After that, he's doing very well as a coach. He's managing Arsenal in his way to work. And we can see how well he's doing. So we are ready for a real tough challenge against top players. But we have to believe in ourselves. Belief. Ted Lasso. Believe. Asked about Arsenal in more general terms, and asked about the game after in midweek. It was a good game, very good game for sure. Mikel has a lot of options and a lot of ways to win. I have seen it, and they played really well. That's in reference to obviously beating Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League. I won't talk about any individual players because they have many top players. So basically, he was asked about the return of Martin Odegaard. So if I talk about Odegaard, I should talk about Saka, should about Declan Rice, and I prefer not to talk about them and instead focus on us. He wants to focus on us. Final question was about the festive period. Looking forward to getting into lots of games. He simply said, we look at it step by step, day by day. That is always. That makes no sense at all. We look at it step by step, day by day. That is always. Thank you very much. That is my live, life, love one today. We look at it step by step, day by day. That is always. But I know what you're on. You don't care about the team news. You don't care about his thoughts about Mikel Arteta. You don't care about his touchline ban. You want to know what is the for sure counter. Surprisingly low. He averages about 12, 13 for sures. Below par, 9. And he's had a shave. I think he should have kept the beard. Should have kept the stubble. Looked good. It looked good, and we won. But he's shaving, so we're probably going to lose on Saturday. It's all because he shaved his beard. It's like Samson. But there has been an increase in the for sure monitor, everybody. He's gone to 8. There was a triple for sure. Triple focus in one question. It was a focus. Yeah, we must focus. Like, yes, well done. Just to bump up the monitor, knowing full well that we're keeping a count on that. So it was 7 last week. So he's creeping up to 8. So hopefully maybe double figures for the Leicester City game. We can only hope. Fingers crossed. And that is it, my friends. Thank you very much for your time. As per usual, we'll have Hammer's headlines a bit later on, talking about maybe Nicholas Fulkrug turning up and being on the bench for the game on Saturday. And Arsenal's problems as well, and a couple of players have been linked to all that type of stuff. But if you haven't seen it, I'm going to keep plugging it. Go and see the Slaven Bilic interview. Critically acclaimed, 5 stars, The Telegraph. Very, very good interview, if I say so myself. But it is an hour and a half long, so I was going to strap on. Strap on? No. Yeah, you know what I mean. Take some time out. And if you like Arteta, who moaned it was an hour and a half, you can always watch some and come back to it. Dip in, dip out. That's what she said. Anyway, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. And come on, you bloody irons. Oh!